All right, today we are pulling back the curtain on the world of hacking. We're going to talk about how it all works, who the key players are, and maybe most important, how you could actually get started in cybersecurity. So, you ready to dive in? Let's go.
I mean, it's a question that sounds like it's straight out of a movie, right? We hear about these massive cyber attacks all the time. But the how? Well, that usually stays in the dark. What's the thought process? What are the actual tools they use to break through digital walls?
Because that's the real secret here. See, hacking isn't just about breaking stuff. At its core, it's a skill. It's a really powerful way of thinking that can be used to protect and defend. The very people who guard our most sensitive information, yeah, they have to think like a hacker every single day. So before we even talk about breaking in, we got to understand the fortress we're defending. In that entire digital battlefield, it all comes down to one core idea: cybersecurity. So what is it really? And why is it more important right now than ever before?
You know, when you boil it all down, it's pretty simple. It's the whole collection of technology, processes, and just good practices designed to do one thing: keep our digital lives safe from people who want to steal, change, or just plain destroy our information.
And don't for a second think this is just some big corporate problem. No, this is personal. Every time you send a message on WhatsApp, check your bank balance, upload a file to Google Drive, or shoot off an email, your data is out there, zipping through the digital world. And cybersecurity is the only thing standing between that data and someone who wants to get their hands on it.
I love this analogy because it's just so perfect. It's not some passive wall just sitting there. It's an active bodyguard, constantly on patrol, always watching for threats, checking IDs, and protecting your digital self from all kinds of dangers you'll hopefully never even have to see.
Okay, now here is where the rulebook for 2025 gets a massive rewrite. The tools and tricks of the past are evolving at a wild speed, and the single biggest reason for that is artificial intelligence. It has completely changed the landscape for both the good guys and the bad guys.
What's so wild about this is how AI makes attacks just devastatingly convincing. Forget those old emails with bad grammar. Imagine getting a frantic voicemail from your boss. It's her voice, her exact way of speaking, perfectly mimicked by AI, telling you to wire money somewhere. That's a deepfake attack. The threat hasn't just leveled up, it's playing a totally new game.
So, with the stakes this high, who are the actual players out on the field? You know, the media loves to paint every hacker with the same dark brush, but the reality is way more complicated. It's a whole spectrum of different motives and ethics. It's time to meet the cast.
Okay, so this is the classic showdown, right? The core conflict. On one side, you have the white hats. These are the ethical hackers. Companies will literally pay them big money to find security holes before the bad guys do. And on the other side, the black hats, the criminals. They're in it for money, for ideology, or sometimes just to watch the world burn. And then things get a little messy. Gray hats. They operate in this moral and legal fog. They might break into a company's network without permission, which, yep, is illegal, but instead of stealing anything, they'll report the flaw, sometimes asking for a reward. Their methods are shaky, but their goal isn't just pure evil.
Now meet the vigilantes of the cyber world. Red hat hackers don't just sit back and defend, they go on the offense. They actively hunt down black hat operations, trying to dismantle their servers, crash their systems, basically shutting them down by using their own aggressive tactics against them.
And finally, we've got the amateurs. Script kiddies aren't these evil masterminds. They're usually just using attack scripts and tools they downloaded off the internet, often with zero clue how the tech actually works. But don't underestimate them. A simple tool in reckless hands can still cause a whole lot of damage.
Okay, so you've seen the battlefield, you've met the players. And maybe you're thinking, you know what? I want to put on a white hat. I want to join the fight. So how do you go from zero to hero in cybersecurity? Let's lay out the roadmap.
Now, this piece of advice sounds completely nuts, but I promise you it's the most important first step. This is phase 0. Don't wait until you feel ready, because you never will. The goal is to get experience. Start applying. The interviews, the rejections, even just reading the job descriptions, all of that will teach you exactly what you need to learn. Just get in the game.
So the real learning journey is built on 3 unbreakable pillars. You have to start with IT foundations. How do computers even work? You got to know the rules before you can break them. Then you layer on security fundamentals. And finally, you master networking, the language that every digital device on the planet uses to talk to each other. So how do you actually prove you have this knowledge? Certifications. Think of them as your passport. They're the language hiring managers speak. The A+ proves you get IT. The Security Plus gets you in the security door.
And the CCNA, well, that's the gold standard that shows you understand how the internet itself is built. It's a super clear path to getting your foot in the door.
And while you're working on the certs, you need to be doing this stuff. You got to learn Linux because it powers most of the world's servers. Learn some Python so you can automate things and build your own tools. And this is a big one. Build a home lab. It's a safe playground to hack and break things without getting in trouble. Oh, and talk to people. Your next job is way more likely to come from a person you know than a random application you fill out online.
And that brings us to the most important point of all. Everything we just talked about, the certs, the skills, the home lab, it all serves one single purpose: getting you real-world, hands-on experience. Nothing you can put on a resume will ever be more powerful. The knowledge you get by actually doing the job is worth more than any course you could ever take.
And that brings us to the end of our roadmap. You get what needs protecting, you've met all the players on the field, and you have a clear path to get the skills you need. So now, the single most important question is left for you to answer.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The ability to understand and even manipulate these incredibly complex systems, that's a neutral power. It's like being a master locksmith. You can use that skill to help people get into their homes, or you can use it to break in. The choice and all the responsibility that comes with it is entirely about your intent.
So there it is. The path is laid out. The knowledge is more accessible than it has ever been before. And the need for skilled, ethical people to defend our digital world has never, ever been greater. The only question left is, what are you going to do?